Would you date someone who's trans?
Now, all of these are hypothetical answers because I'm in a very happy relationship right now that I hope lasts, forever. But would I date a trans person? I've thought about it before, and I honestly don't think I could. Because, honestly, I'm just gonna be honest, I like dick. I don't like vaginas. I've never liked the thought of them. I barely even, can handle my own. I never like seeing them in porn or whatever. I just don't like vaginas, and I would have to sexually satisfy my partner. Like, if you're with someone, you kind of have to do like the sex thing, unless you're in like the type of relationship where you don't like doing that, and that's fine. But I like like sex stuff, and I'm sure my partner would like it too. So I would have to sexually satisfy my partner, and honestly, I don't think I could stomach it. I just don't like vaginas. And also, I'm into kind of quote unquote manly men. So I couldn't be with like a trans woman that has a dick. Because I like how women look, but I'm not attracted to how women look. I like how men look. I like men with dicks. Like, that's just how I am. I can't help it. It's a preference. So yeah, maybe my preference is discriminatory and I don't give a shit.
Would you date someone who's black?
I definitely wouldn't not date someone just because they're black. But I honestly have never really been attracted to someone who's black. I'm not saying that I never could, I just never have, so it's kind of unlikely for me to ever be attracted to someone who's black. But that's one of those ones that, I'm not saying that it couldn't happen, it just never has before. And yeah, like I said, I would never not date someone purely because they're black. It's just, I've just never found a black person attractive. So.
Would you date someone who's fat?
This one kind of depends on what you actually classify as fat. Because I would definitely be okay with dating someone who has a little bit of extra chub. Even dating someone who's, not really the healthiest. Like, someone who has, extra weight. Like, they could stand to lose 10 or 20 pounds. Like, I'm still okay with dating someone who's like that, but I wouldn't be okay with dating someone who's, like, morbidly obese. So, like, dating someone who's, like, 300 pounds at, like, 5'8" or 5'10", that wouldn't be bad. I wouldn't not date someone who looked like that. But dating someone who's like 400 or 500 pounds at that same height, less inclined to date someone like that. And that's just because I honestly don't want to be someone's nurse. And maybe that sounds rude or whatever, but I don't really care. I don't want to take care of someone like that. I'm perfectly fine with making meals for my partner and, making their lunch for work and all that kind of stuff. But I don't want to be, like, helping them wipe their ass, helping them get up, helping them get dressed, helping them shower. Like, helping someone shower sexually, like, for some fun, that's one thing. But, like, helping someone shower because they literally can't fucking shower themselves, I'm sorry, I just don't want to do that. And yeah, maybe it does sound mean, but I don't care. People, like, this, maybe someone else is okay with taking care of a fat person, but I'm not. And that's the beautiful thing about the world. The things that I'm not attracted to, someone else is going to be attracted to. There's someone for everyone.
Would you date someone who's disabled? Now,
Probably not, honestly. And yeah, maybe I'm being mean again. But that's just how I am. And I find Riley in this video tries to make it sound like you've fallen in love with the person first. And that's not really the case. Like when you see someone, you kind of make an immediate judgment on like whether you find them attractive or not. And then you kind of would start dating from there. But 9 times out of 10, when you're thinking about dating someone, you've already had an initial attraction and you've kind of gone from there. It isn't like you are friends and you really get to know them and then like you start to fall in love with them or start to like them from there. So you kind of do have to have that initial attraction. So I'm not saying that if my boyfriend or like future husband or whoever like that I'm with, if I'm already in love with them and something happens to them to make them disabled, this doesn't mean I'm gonna leave them. It just means that I wouldn't knowingly choose to be with someone who is disabled. I don't usually find people who are disabled attractive. I've seen 1 or 2 that I thought were, cute or whoever, like, someone in a wheelchair or whatever. But it depends on the disability, and it also just, I don't know, maybe, like, again, I don't want to be someone's nurse. So, yeah, there's a difference between, like, if you're already with someone and then they get into an accident and it disables them, like, it would kind of be pretty crappy to leave them. I mean, I could understand why someone would leave someone like that. Like, it would be hard to take care of them. But if you already are in love with them and you kind of agreed to stay together forever, that means if anything happens to them. So yeah, if you're already in love with someone and something happens and that makes them disabled, it's completely different than deciding to date someone who is disabled.
Now, honestly, I don't know what your answer is to those questions, but I've met a surprising number of people who would say no to all or at least some of them.
Yeah, and I don't really blame them, honestly. They're completely within their right to not want to have sex with someone or not want to have a relationship with them. What happened to consent, Riley?
Their argument is that it's just a preference and that you can't control who you're attracted to.
Yep, and they would be right. It is a preference, and you can't control who you're attracted to. I love how it's like she doesn't even realize that she is kind of going against like what every LGBTQ person has been saying for like 30 years or more. That you can't change who you're attracted to. Like, how the fuck? Is this honestly a troll? Like, is he trolling? Like, this is so ironic. It's not even funny. Like, for the entire time that gays and lesbians and bisexuals and trans people have been fighting for, like, the entire time that they've been fighting, their, like, battle cry has pretty much been, you can't change who you're attracted to. So why all of a sudden are we like, oh, you can change who you're attracted to? Preferences are just fucking, like, you just wake up one day and you're like, you know what? I'm a lesbian. I'm gay. I'm bisexual. I am all of a sudden have an Asian fetish. Whatever, etc. That's not how it works, Riley. It's not how it works. you don't control what gets your dick hard. You don't control what gets your pussy wet. That's just how it is. That's what fetishes are and whatever. And that's why that's why for like all of human history pretty much, gay people have had to hide their preferences, and why most people with fetishes have had to hide their fetishes, because they can never get rid of them. They're always there, they just have to hide it.
I think most of the time that this is brought up, it's in regards to race. I'll link to a couple really good videos in the description about racial dating preferences.
Alright, he's got some links in his description, so let's check them out, shall we? The first link is a video by Cat Black, and one of the YouTubers that I watch, a really awesome one, Miss Misa, she already did a video on this, so I'm gonna link hers in the description, so if you want to see that, you can go look at it. She's awesome. I would recommend subscribing immediately. The second link is for MTV Decoded with the awful racist Francesca Ramsey, so I gave that a little watch, and it's just kind of more of the same as this video. You can go watch it yourself. Basically, she just goes on about how it's racist to not want to date someone outside of your race, but dating someone outside of your race is fetishizing that race. And how people in Europe and Asia, they like to look whiter, which isn't actually anything to do with Caucasian people. And actually, I saw a really awesome comment on that video that I'm going to put up that kind of debunks that pretty well, so I'll let that commenter debunk that. And then the other two links are fucking everyday feminism, so I'm not even gonna fucking bother because that is not a real citation. That is garbage. So good job on your links there, Riley, Justin, whatever your name is.
But in this video, I want to talk about our other biases. Let's start with trans people. Would you date a trans person, honestly? Think about it for a second. Okay, got your answer? Well, if you said no, I'm sorry, but that's pretty discriminatory.
How the fuck is that discriminatory? Like, I don't understand. Saying that I wouldn't want to have sex with a trans person, or I wouldn't want to, like, be romantically with a trans person, is not saying that I wish all trans people would die, or whatever. It's just saying that I personally would not want to be with a trans person, and I'm sure that there are tons of other people in the world who would like to be with a trans person, so trans people can be with them. Like, I don't understand how this is any different than me going up to a gay person and saying, now tell me honestly, would you date a woman? And they say, no, I'm only attracted to men, I'm gay. Well, that's pretty fucking discriminatory. What about all those women out there that are perfectly fine to date? Like, it's the exact same fucking thing. It's like shaming a gay person for not wanting to date the opposite sex. It's literally the same thing, and I don't know how you don't fucking see that.
Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying you're a horrible person who hates trans people. There was probably a time in my life when I said I wouldn't date a trans person, but since then I've thought critically about it and changed my mind. I could sit here and show you photos of conventionally attractive trans people. There are definitely trans people who you would never know are trans unless they told you, because they pass for cis.
Yes, Riley, you're not getting the point here. Yes, you could find a trans person attractive. No one's denying that. If you don't know that they're trans and they pass for cisgendered, yeah, okay, you could find them attractive. I'm pretty sure I've shown a trans woman to my boyfriend, and he actually didn't even know that it was actually a trans woman. He thought that she was cisgendered. But that still doesn't mean that he would then want to date her. There's a difference between finding someone attractive and actually wanting to date them. Yeah, I could find a trans guy attractive. I'm not denying that. But the thing is, yes, genitals do matter a bit if you plan on doing sexual things in a relationship. I could find a trans guy attractive, but I wouldn't want to go near his vagina. That's the point that we're trying to make here. That genitals do in fact matter, and maybe they don't matter to you. And that's completely fine. If genitals don't matter to you, you do you. But they matter to a lot of other people. Like, I'm sure there's a lot of men who would not really be okay with a trans woman who has a penis because they don't like penis. They don't want it in their butt. They don't want their penis to go in someone else's butt. They don't want to touch another penis. Like, that's not what they like. That doesn't get their dick hard. That's just how it is. And I'm sorry that we can't all be like you and just not care about genitals. Because some of us do.
And that might convince some of you, but I think arguing that you would only like a trans person if you didn't know they were trans is a poor argument. I think you could be attracted to any trans person, whether they pass or not. I think the main concern that people have in regards to dating a trans person is that they won't have the genitals that they expect.
Holy fuck. No. It's not that they won't have the genitals that they expect. It's that they won't have the genitals that they want, that they're attracted to. Like, I don't expect a trans woman to have a vagina because I know that trans women used to be men. So they possibly haven't gone through the sexual reassignment surgery. So they possibly still have a dick. It's common fucking sense. If I know someone's trans, there's a possibility that they don't have the genitals that they look like they should have. But that's not the problem. The problem is that they don't have the genitals that a certain person wants or is attracted to. Like, I don't understand how this is, like, hard for you to comprehend. For real. Like, it's not expectation. It's just the fact that not everyone wants a dick. Not everyone wants a vagina. It's just how it is. Not everyone wants boobs. It's just how it is. Like, I'm sorry that reality doesn't fit what you fucking want, or like fit your narrative or whatever. I'm sorry that reality doesn't, coincide with what you think.
Because we associate penises with men and vaginas with women, some people think they could never date a trans man with a vagina or a trans woman with a penis. But I think that people are more than their genitals. I think that you could feel attraction to someone without knowing what's between their legs. And if you were to say that you're only attracted to people with vaginas or people with penises, it really feels like you're reducing people just to their genitals. You're kind of objectifying them, but you're thinking of them more as genitals than objects. So I guess you're kind of genitalifying them?
I don't think anyone is denying the fact that you can feel attraction to a trans person. And no, you don't need to know what's between their legs to feel attraction to them. The point is that you need more than just attraction in a relationship. Everything needs to come together. You're allowed to end a relationship if there's something in it that you don't like. If that person, say, has a drinking problem, or they don't have the genitals that you want. You can end a relationship for any reason that you want. You can end a relationship for no reason if you want. You are perfectly within your rights to end a relationship if there's something in it that you don't want, or you just don't want a relationship right now, whatever the reason. It's fine. So, does he not understand that there are other things besides attraction when it comes to relationships? Yeah, there's a lot of things that you have to agree on, and sex is one of them. Whether you're not going to have it, whether you're going to have it, whether you can have it with other people. There's so many different things that you have to agree on, because one person is going to end up not happy if you don't agree. If one person wants sex and one person doesn't, how do you compromise that? Sometimes you can't. If one person has a penis and the other one doesn't like penis, how do you compromise on that? Some things you just can't compromise on. And, like, it's fine to end a relationship if you aren't completely happy with something that's in it. So, yeah. If you don't want to be in a relationship because you don't like the genitals that the other person has, you are completely within your rights to end it. You don't need to be, you're not, I think that the biggest thing that you need to take away from this video is that you are not entitled to sex. You are not entitled for people to be attracted to you. And I think that this is what Riley is having a hard time accepting. Not everyone is going to want to fuck you. Some people are. I'm sure that everyone in this world has someone that's remotely attracted to them or that will fuck them. But you are never entitled to everyone wanting to have sex with you.
Anyway, my point is, we have implicit biases that we were raised with or that we developed over time, and they can be hard to get rid of. And I think this can be especially prominent within the queer community. Gay men often pride themselves on being disgusted by vaginas, and the same goes for lesbian women with penises.
Probably because they are disgusted with them. I know I'm pretty disgusted with vaginas, and I'm pretty sure my boyfriend is pretty disgusted with penises. I don't think any straight person is really cool with anyone else's vagina or penis besides their own. And a lot of times even they just kind of deal with their own, like they probably would rather not have that, but you know, I don't like vaginas. I'm grossed out by them. Like, that's how it is. So honestly, I can kind of relate to gay men who are grossed out by vaginas because so am I. So, and I can't relate to lesbian women who are grossed out by penises, but I can understand why they would be if they're not attracted to them.
It's difficult because some queer people have built their sexual identities on these repulsions, but I don't think they're innate at all. If you met someone who was extremely attractive, had a great personality, but didn't have the genitals that you wanted, you might be surprised to find that it isn't a deal breaker.
But Riley, it is a deal breaker for a lot of people. Like, if there is a woman or a trans man with a vagina or whatever, I can definitely be attracted to them physically. I could definitely like them as a person. But once we got into bed, I wouldn't be happy like that. I wouldn't be happy spending the rest of my life with someone that I don't feel pleasure from in bed. I wouldn't be able to pleasure in bed. Unless it's someone who's like asexual, and then I wouldn't be happy because I wouldn't be getting what I wanted sexually in the relationship. So, like, sex isn't the only thing in a relationship, but it is a big thing for a lot of people. So yeah, I could be attracted physically to a trans person. I could like them or even love them as a person. But I couldn't date them because I wouldn't be happy like that. I could be best friends with them. That would be fine. Friends are fine. So, if genitals don't matter in a relationship, what differentiates the relationship from just a friendship?
As someone who is trans and gay, sometimes people ask me with a very accusatory tone if I would date a girl with a penis. Because there's this stereotype that trans lesbians are just predatory cis men creeping on cis women. But the thing is, I absolutely could be attracted to a woman with a penis. I could be attracted to any woman, cis or trans. If I find you attractive, I don't care what you have down there.
So then, could you also be attracted to a trans man with a vagina? Or a man with a penis? That's the thing. That means that you're just pansexual, Justin. Riley. I'm sorry. And that's fine if you're pansexual. If you're attracted to everyone and anyone, that is completely fine. That is your prerogative. But Not everyone is pansexual. Some people, and it's not reducing people down to their genitals, it's just that's what you want sexually. And I don't believe that there's anything wrong with that.
But we know that sexual orientations are more innate than learned. They're more nature and less nurture. Gay conversion therapy has been proven not to work, but you can unlearn your own prejudices. It just takes time and conscious effort. And the way that we talk about potentially dating trans people has a lot in common with the way we discuss other preferences. Saying that you're not attracted to fat people isn't innate. It's informed by a society that tells you that being thin is ideal.
Are you actually fucking kidding me right now, Riley? Are you actually kidding me? You just said that sexual preferences are more nature than nurture. You just said that gay conversion therapy is awful and it pretty much never works. So why are you trying to basically convert people? It's the same thing. It sounds like gay conversion therapy. That's what it sounds like. It's saying, I don't like who you find attractive, change it. That's what you're saying. You're saying, I don't like your sexual preference. I don't like who you find attractive, so stop it and change it. You're trying to change people's sexual preferences, and I don't care which way you word it. That is what you are doing. You're doing the exact same thing as the conservatives were trying to do to gay people back in like the 60s and whatever year it was. I have no idea, and it's not relevant to this video. Anyway, that's exactly what you're doing right now, except you're not going to the extreme of putting them in camps and stuff. But you are trying to change how they think. You're trying to guilt trip people into being attracted to you. It's actually fucking awful and completely hypocritical. That's why I'm like, is this video a troll? It sounds like a troll. It's so ironic that he literally mentions gay conversion therapy in the video that sounds like gay conversion therapy.
Everything in the media you consume is bombarding you with messages that skinny is beautiful and fat is ugly. And even the nicest of people absorb these messages to some degree. But again, if you find someone attractive and really enjoy spending time with them, there's no reason why their weight should be a factor. Especially since we know that the relationship between weight and health is extremely complex, and you really can't make any moral judgments on a person based on their weight.
Actually, health and weight have a lot to do with each other. There are tons of things that you can get that are caused by either being too overweight or too underweight. You can get diabetes from being both overweight and underweight, high cholesterol, more chance of heart attack, high blood pressure, low blood pressure. Tons of different things wrong with you. It shortens your lifespan by years. Not just a few years, like years. Like you could die at like 50 or 60 just because you're overweight. So yeah, weight has a lot to do with health. Yeah, not every fat person is unhealthy. Not every thin person is healthy. No one is saying that. But if you look at a fat person and say that person's unhealthy, there's a lot higher chance that you're right than if you looked at a thin person and said the same thing. Weight has a lot to do with health. And that doesn't even have anything to do with it. Like, when you're dating someone, you're not really thinking, like, you know, how healthy are they? Like, do they eat all their their vegetables or whatever? First of all, if you're planning to be with them for the rest of your life, you're gonna want them to live the rest of your life. Like, if I was, say, like, a really healthy person that, like, went for jogs every day and all that, and I was super healthy, then the chances are I'm probably gonna live into my 70s, 80s, and even 90s. And then say I get with someone who weighs 300, 400, 500 pounds, doesn't walk, doesn't exercise, sits at home and eats, donuts and cake and chips and all this stuff all day and plays fucking Call of Duty or whatever. There's a high chance that they're not gonna live very long. They're gonna live 50 or 60, and then I'm a widow for 20 plus years, and no one wants that. So yeah, I think it's perfectly valid to think about, like, is this person gonna live as long as me? Because I don't want to be, I don't want them to be dying like 20 years before I do. I mean, obviously shit happens, but like, there's a high chance if you're a healthy person and you get with an unhealthy person that they are not going to live as long as you. So you kind of got to think about that stuff going into a relationship. And also, you also got to think about your lifestyle, and is this person going to be able to do things with you? Like, Mr. Repzion, I watched his response to this video, and he was saying that he's really into, like, hikes and, all that kind of stuff that I'm not really into, and neither is my boyfriend, and that's fine. That's why we're together, and I'm not with someone like Mr. Repzion who, likes going for hikes and stuff, because I don't like doing that stuff. But it's perfectly valid for him to not date a bigger person because they wouldn't be able to do the things that he likes to do. And when you're with someone that you supposedly love or care about or want to be with, you're going to want to do things that you like to do together, because it's like, it's awesome to do a thing that you already love to do with someone that you love. It's awesome doing that stuff. And, if you are like a really fit person and you get with someone who's like obese, they're not going to be able to do the things that you love to do with you. So you kind of got to date someone who has the same lifestyle as you as well, or maybe date someone who has the lifestyle that you're trying to achieve, so that maybe they can kind of, encourage you to live that lifestyle. So, yeah, if you like spending time with them, that's fine, but what are you going to be doing in that time that you're spending with them? If you're sitting on the couch eating potato chips all day, and that's fine, date another person who likes sitting on the couch eating potato chips all day. But if you are a person that likes exercising, don't date a person who likes sitting on the couch eating potato chips all day, because how are either of you going to be happy? Because either you're always dragging them out of the house to the gym, or you're always sitting in the house with them being bored out of your mind. I mean, how does that sound like a happy relationship? You have to date people who, you have to have compatibility in your relationship. You can't be polar opposites. They say opposites attract, but not really in most cases. Most of the time you gotta be a little bit similar so that you actually work together.
And lastly, let's talk about disabled people. Disabilities come in a very wide range, from being deaf to being in a wheelchair to only having one arm, and I think it's pretty ridiculous to say that you couldn't be attracted to any person who has any of those disabilities.
Yeah, I'm sure it's possible for most people to be able to be attracted to someone with disabilities. Yeah, some of them aren't very severe, and I'm sure most people could be attracted to someone with, like, certain disabilities, but a lot of them are really, really bad, really debilitating. And I don't think it's really fair to say, like, oh, if you find that person attractive, or, you like them as a person, then you can automatically be with them, because a lot of times they either can't perform sexually, which, as we discussed, is a big thing a lot of times, or they can't hold a conversation, or they can't do the things that someone wants to do, like, going back to Mr. Repzion here, he likes to hike. Do you think someone that's in a wheelchair, or, has problems with their legs, or, whatever, do you think they could be able to do that? No. Do you think he's going to be happy being with someone who couldn't do that? No, probably not. So, yeah, no one's really saying that it's not possible. It's just, there's a lot of disabilities. It just depends on, how someone is and how their lifestyle is, and if it's compatible. Again, it's just like the fat thing. It depends on how compatible you are in your lifestyle and what you're able to do. So yeah, someone in a wheelchair isn't able to do things that, you know, someone else might love to do, like, you know, hiking or training for, like, you know, sports and stuff, or like swimming, or, you know, doing like, you know, skydiving and all that kind of stuff. Like, some people are really into that stuff, and they probably couldn't be with someone who's like in a wheelchair or something, because they can't do the things that the other person loves to do. So yeah, it just all goes back to how your lives are compatible.
Disabilities can happen to anyone. Someone you're extremely attracted to today could become disabled tomorrow, and that shouldn't make your attraction to them disappear. Though if it does, it might not be because of them, but rather because you have some preconceived ideas about disabled people that are just inaccurate and harmful. Unsurprisingly, this is another case of the media telling you that a certain group isn't attractive. Disabled people are rarely romantic leads. Their stories in movies and TV shows are often tragic, but that doesn't reflect the reality that disabled people can be happy and have dating lives and be attractive.
First off, there's a little bit of a difference between being attracted to someone and being, like, in love with someone, or to care about someone, or whatever. If I was just talking to someone, like, just not quite dating yet, just kind of, like, you know, seeing where things go, whatever, and then they got into, like, a tragic car accident, or whatever, and they are, like, brain dead, or they have something, you know, wrong with them. They're disabled now. I can't say with 100% certainty that I would continue pursuing a relationship with that person. And I don't think that that makes me a bad person. It just makes me not want to sign up for that. I guess, like, there's nothing wrong with looking out for yourself. Like, if you don't think that you could be happy taking care of someone for the rest of your life, or having them kind of hold you back, which does sound awful to say, but a lot of times they would be kind of holding you back. There's a difference between that and, you know, say you're dating or married to someone for like 10, 15, 20 years, and then something happens and, like, they're all of a sudden a paraplegic, or they're blind or deaf, or mentally kind of incapacitated. I don't really know the word for it, but, like, they can't really function mentally anymore. 100% I would probably stay with a person then, because I've already given my life to them, pretty much. I'm already married to them, or in a long-term relationship, and I love them. So yeah, there's a difference there. Like, I wouldn't want to, quote-unquote, sign up for taking care of a disabled person. And obviously this depends on what the disability is. If they're only, like, mildly autistic or something like that, then yeah, they're gonna live pretty much normal lives. But if they're, like, paralyzed or blind or deaf or both, or, you know, what have you, a lot of people don't want to deal with that. They don't want to be taking care of this person their whole life. And I don't blame them, honestly. Like, that's not really what you think of when you think of your life. And some people are into that. I know some people like being that nurse type. I know someone personally like that. They like doing that, and that's fine. Go do it, but I don't. So there's a big difference there between someone that you've already dedicated your life to, and then all of a sudden they are paralyzed or, you know, disabled in some way, and then choosing to be with someone who's disabled when you're not with them yet. So that's just my 2 cents.
Now, if you're not attracted to someone, you're not attracted to them. I'm not going to tell you that you have to be attracted to this fat person, or that trans person, or that disabled person.
No, you've only been doing it the entire video.
But the more you work at unlearning your own prejudices, the more you'll be able to see people from these groups as people rather than tired stereotypes.
we are seeing them as people, which is why we make an assessment of if we're attracted to them or not. It's the same thing as having a preference of eye color or hair color. Like, someone who doesn't like brown hair or blue eyes, why don't we have any issue with that? But all of a sudden, when they have dark skin or a penis, it's all of a sudden a big issue. Like, preferences are preferences. It doesn't matter what preference it is.
Unlearning our own biases doesn't happen overnight, and I don't have a step-by-step instruction guide for you. But I think if you can accept that these prejudices exist in all of us, even you can identify them when they come up and work to change how you think about them. It will most likely be a long, slow process, but I think it's worth it. Because these dating preferences are ultimately harmful to people who don't fit into your box of what a conventionally attractive person looks like. It makes people feel isolated, alone, and unwanted to hear that they're universally unattractive to people. I don't think there's anyone out there who somebody doesn't find attractive. We're sold this image of the conventionally attractive person, but in reality, all kinds of people around the world are constantly dating, having sex, finding people attractive, getting married. It's not only the conventionally attractive who find love or have sex. So by working on ourselves to dispel that idea, we can make the world a more welcoming and loving place for everybody, no matter how they look. This video is a part of my Feminism with Riley series that I'm doing in collaboration with Everyday Feminism, a website dedicated to helping you stand up to and break down everyday oppression. Be sure to give this video a like if you enjoyed it, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos about various feminist topics. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.
The hypocrisy is so real. That last, minute or so, he's basically just backpedaling everything that he said throughout the video. Like, oh, it's so bad that you don't find black people attractive or trans people attractive. And then in the last, minute, he starts talking about how everyone will be attractive to someone. And that's, the whole argument that I've kind of been using. It's like, yes, it's okay if I'm not attracted to this certain person because someone will be. Holy fuck. This is too much. Anyway, I'm sorry that this video was so long. The original video is 5 or 6 minutes long, and this video is about 40 minutes long. But I've watched a few responses to this video, just anti-SJWs and anti-feminists that I watch. They've pretty much all done a response to this video, and every time I watch a response, I get more fucking angry with how he's so hypocritical and ironic that it isn't even funny. So I just had a lot of thoughts that when we're going into this video, because it's kind of been stewing for a couple days now, and it's kind of like word vomit. And I didn't feel like editing any of that out because, I don't know, I like to keep it real with you guys, and this is kind of a bit of a diary type thing to me, because of the anonymity. And I just kind of getting it out there, and I think most of you like how I do things at this point. I've made a few videos and they've gotten mostly positive responses on them. So you guys are kind of used to the long video now, so I don't kind of feel as bad. But yeah, I do kind of a little bit feel bad in this video because it was 5 minutes long originally, the original video, and now it's just blown up to 40 minutes. But it's kind of good that most of the video can be me talking, because this is my video. I'm not just mirroring Justin's video, I'm making my own video, so it's good that his video only makes up a small percentage of my entire video. It makes it feel like it's more of mine. But there wasn't anything in that video that I felt like I should cut out, because all of his points I wanted to argue, because they're just awful. And so Oh, there's so much hypocrisy. I can't stop talking about that. Anyway, that's just my little thing, and I'm sorry that I've been gone for so long. I don't even have an excuse as to why. Just Skyrim Special Edition came out, and I've been playing the crap out of that, and, I just haven't seen anything that I've really felt like doing a video on, and I haven't had a whole lot of time to record because, like, things have been going on in my house, and, like, there hasn't been a whole lot of time where, like, no one's home, and I have, like, some time to myself where I can just sit down and, like, record and edit and all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of why I've been gone for so long. Not much of an excuse, but it was just kind of like, felt like the stars weren't aligning in my favor the past few weeks. So I'm hopefully back now. So let's hope. And also Christmas is coming and things are gonna start getting busier, so like I can't promise regular videos in the future. But come the new year, I'm definitely going to be trying to focus on making awesome videos for you guys. So that's pretty much it. Thanks for watching, you guys. See you next time.